I just heard the boom and came out to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, I heard a boom. Whoa! Good morning, friends. Well, the wind is still blowing. Not quite as hard as last night. Boy, last night it was a blowtorch out here. But we're going to take a walk over and see what it looks like around that RV that burned up last night, the day after. Where I was standing last night, taking some of the video. And so I think right about here is the closest I got to it until I started getting a little bit nervous when things started exploding, propane tanks perhaps, or I don't know what all. But yeah, it was, if you saw that video, it was quite a conflagration. If you haven't seen that video, go look at the video, RV fire explosion at SLAB City. It was very dramatic. So we're going to go over there and take a look at what the aftermath is and what the area around it looks like. Oh, this is approaching the Hulk from a different angle. This is more the angle where the trucks and the firefighters were looking from last night. But man, it was a raging inferno. At one point, flames were shooting 50, 75 feet in the air. It's really crazy. And so fire truck had a little bit of a difficulty trying to find their way in here. Fire truck came in from this direction down here. Wasn't sure which way was clear to come in, and there was a fella in a big heavy duty pickup of some kind. Had to have been at least an F-350 size that came in and let him in. You can see now that it was a Class C. You can see the driver's cab in the front, and the overhang, what used to be the overhang, the skeleton of it, which is probably aluminum, and everything is just charred and burned to a crisp. It's really quite a crazy sight. Boy, it is a blackened, charred mess here. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Wow. I just am so sorry for the people that owned it. I'm real happy that apparently there was no one in it. But goodness, this is just a real lesson to all of the RV owners out there about being super careful about fire safety. Look how hot this thing burned. Look at the rims. It used to have tires on them. Those rims are just empty pieces of metal now, front and back. Yeah, wow. Goodness sakes alive. This is just absolutely insane. I wonder what it was, things that were just exploding here last night. There were things popping all over. Looks like maybe some aerosol cans, some paint cans maybe were popping. I don't know, but it is really crazy. Well, the rear looks like it was single axle in the rear. Doesn't look like it's a dual axle. And there are some tires all around. That's kind of interesting, that are not burned, which were apparently clear of the RV before it started burning. Wow. This is just really a sad thing. You can see the bed spring there. Maybe it was a sofa convertible into a bed. Oh yeah, now you can see that it was a dually. Now you can see the dual wheels right there, and can see the frame of an easy chair there, a recliner. My word. Can see a tank right down in there. You can see the bunghole of the tank right there. That looks kind of like a gas tank to me. It's metal, that's for sure, and I don't think black tanks or gray tanks are metal. I think they're plastic in most of these rigs. Yeah, you can see the electrical here, and looks like the thermostat and the control panel for hot water tank. And wow, look up here, look in that front compartment. You're not going to drive very far in this rig anymore. The dash is just all burned up. Doesn't even there's not even much of a seat left there. This metal is not aluminum. This metal is steel. So I don't know if aluminum would have burned or melted more easily than this steel, but the skeleton of this thing is still pretty well intact, because of the thickness of the steel. Pretty thick steel. Oh, it was a Chevy van. It was a Chevy van. Chevy 30. Pretty old one. Yeah, my, oh my, oh my. Look in there. Oh, it doesn't look like there was a motor in it, so it wasn't going anywhere soon. So I'm guessing that it was a derelict. I'm guessing that it was just here and somebody was using it for parts. Oh, there's a propane tank down there. So there's several small propane tanks. So apparently that's what was causing all of the explosions, or some of them, or a lot of them. But wow, yes sir, that's a shame. Here is what's left of a satellite dish. I don't know if it was on top of this rig and came off in the fire with all the explosions, or if maybe it was already being parted out to some degree. Well, look down here. See that right in there? That, oh, there, that's better. That is the propane tank. There's a, see that piece of flat metal that's kind of waving a little bit? See underneath it there is a valve, and and a couple of valves, a shut-off valve and a hook-in valve. That is the propane tank. And the propane must have been totally empty because that didn't explode. It looks like it's all in one piece right there. So, holy smoke, friends, this is absolutely amazing. Well, here I am, Papa Dale. I am at the what's left of the Hulk that burned up last night at SLAB City. And wow, was it a dramatic scene last night. Things have quieted down now, but man, everything over here is just totally destroyed and devastated. Wowie zowie. And over there, just up on the ridge just a little bit, you can see the Millennium Falcon. And most of the time I was standing right by the tracker. You can see that. Part of the time I had walked down maybe 30 yards or so to get a little closer view. But yeah, so that's the scene of the tremendous fire last night at SLAB City. Well, there's the burned out Hulk, and over here is the area where in the teeth of the explosions that were going on, things were just being shot out of the flames and shot this way. The wind was just like a blowtorch last night and just throwing things this direction. The wind was, and the explosions. And I'm pleased that there was not a ton of really dry grass over here that could have caught fire. It could have been a really bad scene had there been. But it's mostly dirt, and you can see things laying out here. Hard to tell whether it's things that got thrown out because of the explosion, or if it's just some of the normal garbage that blows around here at SLAB City. But I will tell you this, I'm real happy that the damage wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. This could have been a real disaster. The way that thing was burning and the way the wind was blowing last night. This whole area here, let me show you. Right from the burning Hulk there, and coming right through here, you can, if you look closely, you can see on the ground black splotches, and you can see burned grass. And because this is the way the flames were coming, and sparks and burning debris were being hurled this direction. But you look out here and you can see other vehicles that are parked out here, and had this grass and brush caught fire. The way that wind was blowing, man, it would have just gone through this camp out here like a hot knife through butter. Would not have been a pretty thing. So, thus ends the saga of the burning RV at SLAB City on 2/26/2020. Was a crazy night, that's for sure. Well, friends, last night was just super exciting from the perspective of an outsider. would not have been so exciting from the perspective of the owner of that vehicle who just suffered loss. Would not have been exciting if someone had been inside of it, but thankfully it doesn't appear that anyone was inside of it. It appears that it was just a derelict, possibly being parted out. And so in that sense, there's a silver lining in the cloud of that conflagration. But what I want to say right now is this is a real important lesson to anyone who owns an RV, whether you're in the full-time RV nomad community, whether you are a weekend warrior, whether you rent an RV from time to time. My strong input and advice is to make sure that you've got a fire extinguisher or two on board and readily accessible, easily reached. I have in the Millennium Falcon, I have 5 fire extinguishers. A little overkill, somebody might say, but I do have 5. And so I think that I am prepared. Whether that will actually save the day or not, should I have a fire, I don't know. But it's not like I'm unprepared. So get prepared. If you don't have fire extinguishers, go out and get some.